Welcome back everyone to our financial deep dive. Today we are unpacking the numbers from a giant in the IT world, Infosys.
That's right. Infosys Limited, a global leader in next-generation digital services and consulting headquartered right here in Bengaluru, India. They're a massive player listed on the BSE, NSE in India and the NYSE in the US.
And they've just released the outcome of their board meeting held on April 16th and 17th, 2025, which includes their financial results for the quarter and the full financial year ended March 31st, 2025.
Correct. The board approved the audited consolidated financial results under Ind AS and IFRS, as well as the audited standalone results under Ind AS. So we've got a few different views to look at.
Let's start with the headline consolidated numbers, usually under IFRS, which is what international investors track closely. How did Q4 FY25 look compared to last year?
Okay, looking at the consolidated IFRS figures for Q4 FY25, revenue from operations came in at $4,730 million. That's up 3.6% in reported terms compared to Q4 last year and up 4.8% in constant currency terms.
So decent top-line growth in constant currency. How did that translate to the bottom line?
The consolidated net profit after tax for the quarter was $813 million. Now, this is actually down 15.2% compared to the same quarter last year. The operating margin, however, stood at 21%, which is an increase of 0.9% year-over-year.
Revenue up moderately, margin up, but net profit down significantly? What's driving that dip in profit?
A big factor seems to be other income. For Q4 FY25, consolidated other income was $125 million. Compare that to $315 million in Q4 last year.
Okay, that explains a lot. And what about the full year FY25 consolidated results?
For the full financial year 25, consolidated IFRS revenue was $19,277 million, showing growth of 4.2% in constant currency. The operating margin for the year expanded slightly by 0.5% year-over-year to 21.1%.
So relatively flat profit for the full year on the consolidated front, despite the Q4 dip. And earnings per share or EPS?
Consolidated basic EPS for Q4 was $0.20, down 15.2% year-over-year, mirroring the net profit trend. For the full year FY25, basic EPS was $0.76, down marginally by 0.3% compared to FY24.
Now you mentioned standalone results were also released under Ind AS. How did those compare? Sometimes the standalone picture gives a different perspective on the core Indian entity's health.
That's a good point. Looking at the standalone Ind AS figures for Q4 FY25, revenue from operations was 40,925 crore rupees, up 7.9% year-over-year from 37,923 crore rupees.
Wow, that's a much steeper profit decline on the standalone side for the quarter compared to the consolidated view. What about the full year standalone?
For the full year FY25, standalone Ind AS revenue grew 6.1% year-over-year to 1,62,990 crore rupees. But again, standalone PAT was down 6.1% to 25,568 crore rupees.
Interesting contrast. Consolidated profit held up better year-over-year than standalone profit. This suggests either subsidiaries performed better relatively, or perhaps costs were managed more effectively at the consolidated level, or maybe differences in accounting standards play a part.
The consolidated operating margin, as we mentioned, was 21% for Q4 and 21.1% for the full year FY25, showing a slight expansion year-over-year.
Were there any exceptional items reported that might affect these comparisons?
No exceptional items were highlighted in the main results summary for either standalone or consolidated figures. This suggests the results are relatively clean in terms of one-offs.
Okay, let's shift to financial health. The report mentions record free cash flow on the consolidated side.
Yes, a major highlight. Consolidated free cash flow for FY25 reached its highest ever level at $4.1 billion. That's a significant increase of 41.8% year-over-year. That's a very strong point.
That is strong. And shareholder returns, any news on dividends?
Yes, the board has recommended a final dividend of 22 rupees per equity share for the financial year ended March 31st, 2025. This is subject to shareholder approval at the AGM on June 25th, 2025.
Good news for shareholders. Now let's get into the engine room segment performance. How did the different business verticals perform on a consolidated basis?
Right. Looking at the consolidated Ind AS segment results for FY25 compared to FY24, financial services remains the largest segment, showing decent revenue growth of about 7% year-over-year and a strong jump in segment profit before interest and tax, up nearly 19%.
So FS is performing well. What about the others?
Retail, consumer packaged goods, and logistics saw a slight revenue decline of about 2% year-over-year, but segment profit grew modestly by around 3.7%.
Manufacturing really stands out there. How did high-tech and life sciences do?
High-tech saw revenue growth of about 5.5%, with segment profit growing slightly slower at around 2%. Life sciences had modest revenue growth of about 2.7%, but its segment profit declined by about 8% year-over-year.
Okay, so a bit of a mixed bag, but financial services and manufacturing look like the key growth drivers for both revenue and profit in FY25, while communication and life sciences faced some profitability pressures.
Exactly. It highlights the importance of their diversification, but also shows where the current strengths and potential challenges lie within their portfolio.
Taking all this in, moderate consolidated revenue growth, margin expansion, record free cash flow, but relatively flat consolidated profit (UAY), and a decline in standalone profit. How do we analyze this overall FY25 performance?
It paints a picture of resilience and effective cost management in a challenging environment. They managed to expand consolidated operating margins despite headwinds. The record free cash flow is a testament to strong operational execution.
The report also mentions quite a few other significant events and decisions from the board meeting. What stands out?
Several key things. Firstly, acquisitions. They've approved the acquisition of MRE Consulting Limited in the US for up to $36 million to bolster their energy consulting capabilities.
Acquisitions to fuel growth. Anything else?
Yes, an update on their joint venture in Japan, HiPUS. Mitsubishi Heavy Industries has invested and taken a 2% stake from Infosys, reducing Infosys' stake from 81% to 79%.
Right, the McCamish incident. That's important for transparency. Now, crucially, what about the auditor's report? Any red flags raised by Deloitte Haskins and Sells LLP?
I've reviewed the auditor reports included for both the consolidated financial statements under Ind AS and IFRS separately and the standalone financial statements under Ind AS. Deloitte Haskins and Sells LLP issued an unmodified opinion on all sets of financial statements.
So, clean audit opinions across the board?
Yes, based on the reports provided here, it's a clean bill of health from the auditors for both the consolidated and standalone figures for the year ended March 31, 2025.
That's reassuring, especially given the complexities of a global operation like Infosys. Okay, looking ahead, Infosys also provided guidance for FY26. What are they projecting?
For the financial year 26, they are guiding for revenue growth between 0% and 3% in constant currency terms. They're also projecting an operating margin between 20% and 22%.
0 to 3% revenue growth sounds quite conservative after the 4.2% they achieved in FY25. The margin band seems relatively stable.
It does suggest they anticipate continued macroeconomic headwinds or perhaps a more challenging demand environment in the upcoming year. However, maintaining the margin guidance signals confidence in their operational efficiency programs.
So, wrapping this up, what's the final verdict on Infosys FY25 performance and outlook?
Infosys delivered a resilient FY25. Key positives are the highest ever free cash flow, slight expansion in consolidated operating margins, continued large deal wins, $11.6 billion TCV for the year, and strategic acquisitions.
So, a picture of a well-managed company navigating a tough environment, making strategic moves, but facing potentially slower growth ahead.
That sums it up well. They're managing costs, generating strong cash, and positioning for the future with acquisitions. But the near-term growth outlook appears muted based on their guidance.
And a reminder to everyone listening, this discussion is for informational purposes only and should not be considered investment advice. Please consult with a certified financial advisor before making any investment decisions.